Well, hello and welcome to our devotion time. We continue to look at Abram's story, and today we're taking off from where there's been a disruption, a disunity in the family. The sheep herders, you remember, began to argue, and Abram finally said, "Enough's enough. We're going to have to separate." And he tells Lot, "You choose whatever land you want, go your way, and then I'll go the opposite way." And Lot turns around, looks at the plains where Sodom and Gomorrah are located, sees the richness of the soil, he sees the affluence of the city, and thinks this is going to be the place where I can be successful in the world. And maybe through man's eyes, we could say, Abram, you've blown it by allowing Lot to choose this land and prosper here. There's much more potential for him to prosper in this area than what you've chosen now, which is the desert. But don't forget, this is the land that God had promised Abram. And so maybe as this disbanding happens, we say, Abram, that's kind of the consequences of the choices you've made. Remember, you went down to Egypt, another prosperous land, got kicked out, thrown out by Pharaoh. And why? Part of it is your, we might speculate, is the disgusting treatment of your family at the time, or a part of your family, especially your wife. And then God intervenes gracefully and miraculously, and they leave wealthier than they ever were from Egypt, but thrown out of Egypt. And so instead of us maybe getting what we would expect in this story of God confronting Abram, and because God confronts Abram once again, and this time it's more powerful than it ever has been before. God comes in the midst of Abram's life at this, maybe we could say it's a low state in his life. And he didn't say, you blew it, it's time to face the music, Abram. You relationship breaker, you husband that has failed dramatically. Instead, God, again, comes with grace, and he says these words, "Raise up your eyes, and from the place where you are now standing, look to the north, to the south, to the east, to the west. For all the land that you see, I will give to you and to your offspring forever. I will make your offspring like the dust of the earth. If a man will be able to count all the grains of the dust in the world, then your offspring also will be countable. Rise, walk the land through its length and breadth, for I will give it all to you." Now, how's that for a deed? The rights given to Abram there and to his family. And this is in Genesis 13, verses 14 through 17, if you're curious about that. And so instead of Abram getting what he deserves, God confirms his covenant that he's made, this relationship that he's built with Abraham. And he says, even though you have found yourself unfaithful, I will be faithful to you. Now go and walk in this land that I give you, that walk in my ways. Almost sounds like a salvation story, doesn't it? And so we'll see that Abram is finally let go of some things, and literally let go of Lot and his family, and I would say maybe philosophical worldview influences that would cause him to continue in a destructive lifestyle. He's finally free of Lot's negative and destructive influence, and it's as Lord has, it's as the Lord intended. And now Abram is free to do what Genesis 18:19 says: teach his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Holy One by doing what is right and just. Well, I'll leave you with those thoughts today. I pray God's blessings on you, that you'll be able to dwell in his peace, and hope to see you Sunday as we worship together, either at the church or here on the internet. God bless. Bye now.